Welcome to Nebraska Research Days. I'm Bob Wilhelm, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice Chancellor for Research and Economic Development. I'm so pleased to see a strong turnout for our annual Faculty Recognition Celebration, as well as the other Research Days events. As we head into the final stretch of the fall semester, I'm grateful for the opportunity to recognize your many accomplishments in 2022. We can be incredibly proud of what we've achieved together. For the most recent fiscal year, Nebraska achieved $321 million in research expenditures. That's another record and represents a 31% increase over the last decade. Given the disruptions of the pandemic, this is even more impressive. As a university, we have refocused our attention on the goals outlined in the N2025 strategic plan. All N2025 aims are critical to the future of our university. I'd like to highlight a few. The first is to establish a culture at Nebraska committed to increasing the impact of research and creative activity. As the state's only land-grant institution, this is one of UNL's most important roles. ORED is here to support you in this endeavor. Another is to focus our research and creative experiences on fostering innovative, interdisciplinary endeavors that solve challenges critical to Nebraska and the world. The Grand Challenges Initiative is a great example of how you all are working together to address pressing societal issues. This is an exciting time to be part of the Nebraska research community. Now, let's hear from some of our faculty members.
What does it mean to be a scholar in Nebraska? It means that we're extremely fortunate that we have a state that provides us a lot of support, even during tough times. This university is a major part of the state. People identify with the university from all corners, and the university itself takes its obligations to its citizens very seriously.
Hi, my name is Maytal Netta. I'm an associate professor of psychology and also one of the associate directors of the Center for Brain Biology and Behavior. And what does Nebraska research mean to me? I think that this is a place that is really invested in interdisciplinary research, in sharing creative ideas and putting people together in a room that can come up with something that is truly unique. And one of the things that I think I really cherish about doing research here is that not only does Nebraska care about your success, right, but they really put the time and the people and the resources into helping you to achieve your goals and to actually making you successful. So I just feel overwhelmingly lucky to have been here.
Hi, my name is chancellor. Doing research in Nebraska enriches many aspects of my career and life here at UNL. I get to innovate and develop novel solutions, including algorithms and real-world systems. I get to collaborate with colleagues from different disciplines, share diverse ideas with them, and grow. I get to mentor both undergraduate and graduate students and learn from them as well. I get to engage the local communities, making impacts that benefit the state, local communities. I get to be passionate about something and pursue it scientifically.
Celebrating your success is one of the highlights of my job. Although I would love to recognize every award and accomplishment, I'm afraid I can't do that in an hour-long program. To get a full picture of faculty accomplishments in 2022, look for the Research and Creative Activity booklet. I do want to acknowledge a few major awards. Shortly after last year's celebration, a subatomic physics team, led by Ken Bloom, received a $51 million grant from the National Science Foundation, one of the largest grants in UNL history. Nebraska is leading the NSF-funded portion of the U.S. CMS operations program that was previously overseen by Princeton University. For the non-physicists in the room, That means the Nebraska-led team is managing the operations and maintenance that make it possible to study particle collisions at CERN in Switzerland. It's an incredible achievement and recognition of the leadership and expertise that Nebraska physicists have provided on the international stage over the past 2 decades. More recently, a biochemist, Ed Cahoon, earned a 5-year, $12.8 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to lead a multi-institutional team that is exploring ways to genetically enhance 2 oilseed crops, camelina and pennycress, to meet rising demand for renewable fuels, industrial chemicals, and bioproducts. The goal is to help reduce reliance on petroleum-based products and mitigate the effects of climate change. Ed's leadership is proof of Nebraska's expertise in plant science research. There is so much to be done in the areas of climate resilience and energy security, and I'm proud to have Nebraska researchers addressing these issues. The African Poetry Book Fund is an internationally recognized program that is one example of Nebraska's excellence in the arts and humanities. Under Kwame Dawes' leadership, the fund is using a nearly $350,000 grant from the Poetry Foundation to study the complexities of poetry and publishing on the continent of Africa. Kwame is incredibly dedicated to advancing scholarly understanding of African poetry and making this art form more accessible to the public. Nebraska is a place where arts and culture thrive and influence others. One of our long-term strategies is to increase the success of faculty pursuing funding, honors, and awards. Congratulations to our recipients and to those who were nominated for external awards. I also want to express my thanks to the individuals who spent time putting together nomination packages. Peer nominations are crucial to ensuring our talented faculty are recognized in their disciplines and beyond. Whenever one person is honored, it's a win for all of us. It helps build our institutional reputation. It's an important part of the mentoring process, and it also creates a pipeline for future awards. Let's learn more about your accomplishments this year.
Nebraska researcher means collaborating with researchers on the leading edge of your field and engaging with community members and others that are impacted by the research. For example, here at the Public Policy Center, we connect Nebraska research with decision makers and with those impacted by our research. This results in safer schools and communities and more effective organizations and practices locally, statewide, nationally, even internationally. We're making a difference.
I'm Dawn Braithwaite, Professor Emerita of Communications Studies. When I think about Nebraska research, I think about the people in the Department of Communication Studies, the College of Arts and Sciences, and across the campus who inspire and encourage me every day. I've been working to take my research to the community even more fully. I've been doing this through starting a blog at Psychology Today entitled Communication Matters. I've joined the board of Step Family Magazine, and I'm writing for the magazine. And I continue to work with the press, for example, this week working with CNN. I think it's a really important goal to take our research into our communities to people who can use the things that we know, and we also grow and change with them as well. There is no place like Nebraska research.
One of the most exciting moments of 2022 was announcing the projects awarded through the first cycle of the Grand Challenges Catalyst competition. There were 13 funded projects for a total of $10 million invested. All of them represent the spirit and the priorities of our institution. And more importantly, you rose to the challenge of thinking boldly and going beyond your disciplines to accomplish your work. I've been hearing so many fantastic stories about how researchers who had never met prior to Grand Challenges are now having incredibly productive, creative collaborations. This is an example of the collateral beauty that will last well beyond the 4 years of this initiative. In total, there are 180 faculty, staff, and students involved in the first round of funded projects. We are investing up to $40 million for Grand Challenges projects. Imagine what our impact could be at the end of 2025. Let's hear from faculty members who are making a difference through their work.
The phrase, "I am Nebraska Research," means that I do research to improve equitable STEM teaching and learning in Nebraska and to benefit Nebraskans of all ages. Much of my research also involves other collaborators across the country, and we study things like how to use networked improvement communities to better prepare secondary mathematics teachers, or how to help mathematics departments change their cultures to more actively engage students and to have more equitable teaching in their departments, how to better support STEM transfer students between 2- and 4-year colleges, and how to help educators at all levels use data to investigate equity-focused problems of practice.
For me, doing research at Nebraska has meant so many great things in such a short amount of time. For me, it's meant being supported, stimulated, and celebrated. Supported by the vast amount of resources available and the opportunities for professional development. Stimulated by new opportunities like the Grand Challenges and other collaboration efforts that have motivated me to collaborate with some of the most diverse, knowledgeable people in our state. And lastly, celebrated by my colleagues, by my college, and the university as a whole, with opportunities to showcase my expertise in the success that I've had. In just a short year and a half here, I've already collaborated with people at UNO, UNK, UNMC, and other institutions across the country. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined having all of these collaborations, relationships, and opportunities in just a short year and a half. Being at Nebraska has made me feel valued, and that's the best thing I could ask for.
Research has a crucial role in creating economic growth for the state of Nebraska. The cumulative impact of investments in Nebraska Innovation Campus is nearly $329 million. This is an exciting place for startups, creating public-private partnerships and job opportunities for students and alumni. The Scarlet Hotel also opened this year and has already been a fantastic amenity for the university community. As many of you have heard, NIC Executive Director Dan Duncan is retiring in early 2023. NIC could not have achieved this impressive level of growth without his leadership and vision. In September, he received a Career Achievement Award from the Association of University Research Parks. I can't think of a more deserved honor. Thank you, Dan, for your service to the university. New Tech Ventures and Industry Relations are doing important work in connecting faculty with business opportunities. $19.8 million of our research expenditures are industry sponsored. And in fiscal year 2022, New Tech brought in $6.36 million in licensing income. For the 5th consecutive year, the University of Nebraska system was among the top 100 academic institutions receiving U.S. patents. This year, NU rose in the rankings from 77th to 64th. In September, we received the exciting news that Nebraska is the newest member of the NSF Great Lakes Innovation Core Hub. I highly encourage you to look into the programs and training opportunities that are now available to you through the Innovation Core Hub. It's also an excellent way to meet mentors and other entrepreneurs across the region and the Big Ten. New Tech's Introduction to Customer Discovery program laid the foundation for Nebraska's regional I-Core membership. NCID was modeled after the NSF I-Core program. Since its formation, about 170 faculty members from University of Nebraska campuses have participated, learning the important skills involved in pursuing technology and commercialization. Sentinel Fertigation, which is featured in the latest annual research report, is one example of a startup that leveraged this resource. Thank you to the entire New Tech team for creating this opportunity for our faculty. The University of Nebraska State Museum and the press are crucial to our education and outreach efforts. The museum does an incredible job of finding innovative ways to reach Nebraskans, both in person and virtually. The popular Sunday with a Scientist and Science Chat Specials programs give the public a chance to meet with researchers and learn about their work. Thank you to the faculty members who graciously give their time and expertise. These are important avenues for engaging the public in research and creative activity. And in May, all 3 state museum locations became registered as Blue Star museums. This enables active duty military and their families to visit the museum free of charge. We are very proud to be able to offer this benefit to military families. This year, more than 22,000 students in grades K through 5 were able to access the museum through digital programs available through the state's network of educational service units. And through a partnership with Nebraska Public Media, the museum opened Expedition Nebraska, a 3D virtual museum tour. What an exciting way for the public to interact with history and learn about Nebraska's prehistoric period in the process. The University of Nebraska Press also is having an impressive year. Ani Erno, who received the 2022 Nobel Prize for Literature, published her award-winning book, Do What They Say or Else, through the press. This is the 5th time the press has published a Nobel Prize-winning book since 2008. Many books and authors affiliated with the press have received outstanding media coverage this year, including mentions in the New Yorker, New York Times, Publishers Weekly, and many others. And the press launched 2 new journals this year. Thank you to the ORED affiliates for their efforts to engage the broader community. Enjoy a few more videos before returning for one of my favorite parts of Research Days, the prize drawing. Remember, you must be present to win, so keep watching.
My research is about looking at the patterns in turbulence flows to better understand when it happens and how it happens. So it has the broader impacts because the turbulence flows is everywhere. You can think about the flows around airplanes and cars, even inside our body. So one of the ultimate goals is to predict these patterns to better prepare for turbulence flows, for saving energies and saving lives. So this project would not be possible without interactions I have had with my colleagues in the department and college, even with the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
To me, Nebraska research means trust. So I do research about communication technologies and loneliness. And so we'll be using Alexa, a voice assistant, with older adults and having them call family members or friends. And so I've been in situations where I am talking to this participant's, sister, daughter, nephew, and showing them how to use this voice assistant. And the people that we call, all I say is that I'm a researcher from Nebraska, and I introduce myself, and they trust what I'm doing. The participants trust what I'm doing. Their family members that we're calling with Alexa trust what we're doing, and I just don't know if that would be possible anywhere else.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you leave this event knowing that what you do matters and has impacted our community, state, country, and world. I appreciate your commitment to advancing research and creative activity at Nebraska, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work together in achieving our goals.